I feel like one of the really big things that happened in the entire season, in the finale episode,
in the entire show,
last frickin' 5 minutes, was Mona's death. So Mona is murdered, so we think. But fan theory number 1, who killed her? Mona killed herself. Mona faked her own death in order to frame Allie for murder. She fainted that time because she'd been drowning in her own blood gradually in preparation for the murder setup. As in, she was like drawing her own blood weekly, and then she fainted because she didn't have enough blood in her body, and then she sprayed it everywhere to make it look like a murder, and then framed Allie. So, what do we think about that?
Yeah. And that fan theory came from @FanForMe.
Yes.
Great theories. You always have great theories.
I loved that theory so much because the first time that somebody pointed out to me that Mona had that Band-Aid on her arm the day that she fainted, that happened, and I was like, we cannot ignore that, you guys. We can't ignore that. She obviously had gotten blood drawn. And then when she fainted, we were all kind of like, you know, I've fainted after getting blood drawn.
Absolutely.
I'm
the worst.
Yeah,
Don't take me to the hospital. I will not survive it.
Absolutely. Like, we know that that's a very normal thing. They usually have I in a recliner. I have a terrible fear of needles. That is another show.
Why are we the same person?
I don't know. But no, seriously, so I have passed out from getting my blood drawn. So when that came up, I thought that was such a good theory. Also, a lot of people were saying Mona in the trunk didn't really look like she had gone through that much of a struggle. Like, there was blood all over the walls, all over the floor.
People said she was possibly in a
coma,
induced state of like a drug or something, and I've seen that in other movies. You can like slow your heartbeat down.
Because that's the only thing that doesn't add up.
Romeo and Juliet. Hello.
Exactly. This fan theory totally makes sense, except for the fact that we did see Mona in the trunk, dead.
Right.
Eyes glaze over, super scary. So
someone said though that we only saw Mona's face, and A has a thing about making masks of people, so it could just be a mask. I'm not really. I mean, I love the fan theory. I love the idea behind it. I'm not really buying into it though. But I think it's so suspicious that we saw that Band-Aid on her arm, because wardrobe or makeup would have definitely covered that up if it didn't mean something. You wouldn't really just go to set with a Band-Aid.
Right. Or, you know, really quickly before we move on, but the whole twin theory came into play again. Someone was saying that Mona is, Marlene King had tweeted, Mona is really dead. She's dead, she's dead.
Right.
But like, what if she did have a twin, and so then in a sense, like, Marlene meant that, like, okay, there was a death, yes, but if Mona had a twin, maybe that blood was being drawn so that it would come up as being Mona's blood, but like who we saw in the trunk was actually her twin. Which would be so weird and messed up if she put her twin, like, you're gonna take the fault for this one, babe. I'll get you in the afterlife. But you know what I'm saying? I did read that.
It would overall be a great way for them to get Mona back into the show, and I think fans would be really excited. So please let that be what actually happened and not just a theory.